Alright everyone, here we are with ticker symbol Nndm, Nano Dimension. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back. And as we dive into this chart, I do want every single investor and viewer to be aware that I have a ticker symbol to share with you guys towards the end of this video that you definitely do not want to miss, and especially if you don't have it on your watch list. So stay tuned on in. Now, if you guys want to know live updates on what ticker symbols I'm watching to add to your watch list, you can definitely join me over at the Patreon. The link is down below in the description. By clicking on it, you'll be redirected over to the Patreon page and you will see everything there is to offer over at the Patreon. The link is down below in the description. So here we are, Nndm Nano Dimension. So let's go ahead and move our resistance and support to their new location. But I do want every single investor and viewer to be aware that Nano Dimensions was in a bearish run for some time, since literally almost the beginning / mid of February, and then it's just been falling, and it hit a bottom here of 896. Now when we hit here 964 and we were starting to build some momentum, I had asked every single investor, do you think that number is a number of the past? We won't see that again. We're going to build momentum from here moving forward. Or will these discounted quote unquote prices appear again? Well, we certainly went past 961 and hit as low as 896. So my question to every single investor now is, do you think 896 could be broken through? Because if that is a possibility, your next support level is down here at the 770 range / 790 range. So you definitely want to keep that in mind moving forward if 896 gets broken through. Now, the bulls reappeared and build some momentum here, and they're fighting to gain leverage again, but the bears keep on pulling them down. This is certainly in tug of war zone, especially sitting at 1026, and the 50-day moving average is 1017. You definitely want to keep that in mind. Now, what is our support? Our support is 1003. If that gets broken through, that means the bears accomplished breaking through the 50-day moving average. They broke through support, and this could be on its way down to newer lows, new support levels, and getting deeper into bearish territory, which is something to watch carefully, because our lowest point here is 896, but in between support of 1003 and 896, we have 950 to look at and see if the bulls are trying to reappear, or are the bears definitely dominating this one on the downward direction. Now, our resistance is up here at 1067. The bulls need a breakthrough 1067 to reach newer highs and new resistance levels. So I do want every single investor and viewer to be aware of that and pay close attention to that, and I want to emphasize that 1067 needs to be broken through so this can reach newer highs and new resistance levels. Now, I've mentioned now the support, the 50-day moving average, and the resistance. Let's see how ARK Invest position themselves. Well, from the 26th, right, and all the way till now, let's see how they position themselves. ARQ on the 26th, they had 7,265,074 shares at a market value of about 71 million. Now, today, the first RQ, they have 7,265,000 shares and 74 at 74 million. So that right there shows you they did not buy or sell any shares or position in RQ, but the market value did go up, and as we can see in the chart, it's been slightly recovering, and they gained back about $3 million in market value. So that confirms to us that they're holding on this position. Now, ARKW, right, from the 26th, 6,039,943 shares. They did not switch up by much when we look at this. Now, market value, 59 million. So let's see here. 6,033,000 $922. The market value went up a little bit, but they stayed in the 6 million, and they're really close. All it takes is 30,000 shares and they're in the 5 millions, high 5 millions, but they went down by 6,000 shares. So this was a small rebalancing here. What I'm excited about is to share with you guys once ARK Invest starts being bold again and loading up on shares. I'm sure they're waiting to see this one slightly bottom out or consolidate before really being more aggressive. And then as it's starting to build itself up with momentum, they're going to purchase more shares. I think that's just what I'm looking for. It's my opinion. I would love to see your guys' thoughts on that. But that's how they acted all the way up to this peak. I could see them buying more on the way up, especially when they're looking at this from the larger perspective, the bigger picture. All this movement here on the graph, yeah, it's what's happened between the last 6 months, almost a year when you zoom out all the way and look back all the way to these numbers. But they're seeing way beyond what the chart is showing us now. As always, guys, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Stay tuned to the very end because I do have a ticker symbol you won't want to miss, and you definitely want to have this one on your watch list. So for everyone that has made it to this point in the video, the ticker symbol I'm about to share with you guys is one that got hit pretty hard last week. It went down 50%. Now, it had to do with speculation, and it also had to do with news that really drove this stock down. We're going to look at it in just a moment. It's not rocket companies, but before we jump into that, I want to go ahead and share with you guys the tweet of the day. I tweeted this last night, and it says, "There is no better time than now to be watching and aware of which stocks are pulling back with upside potential." Okay? And I mean that. This is the time to be watching stocks and watching them closely because we want to watch them bottom out or hit oversold area. Watch it closely to kind of pull right back up. And if it possibly goes back into oversold area, we know what it's capable of, what's the margin, and then also we need to be aware how the overall market is doing. And if it's correlating, then it's possibly something that can actually bounce back up, right? With the possibility that this is a correction and not a crash. If it's a crash, it could take months, it could take years to hit the bottom, and then it can start months and years to bring itself back up. So I've been stating it. Are we in a market crash or correction? I hope that we're in a correction and not in a crash, because a correction is healthy to then allow more investors to get back in. Institutional investors are definitely, upping their positions in certain stocks, and then we can start to see the market start to rise up again. So this is the time to be watching and aware of different stocks and doing your due diligence. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you definitely want to try to understand the company, which is another tweet that I talked about several days ago, back to the time where I stated the 2 ways you know you are in a stock you understand, which is believing in the company's mission and outlook, and you plan on holding more than just a day or even a month, possibly even a year, with a goal, right? An end goal for your initial investment to grow. So you do want to understand these stocks. Now, if you want to know live updates on what ticker symbols I'm watching, you can join us on over at the Patreon. The link is down below in the description. So let's jump into this stock. So this is a stock that I talked about back on the 23rd, right? 23rd of February. That was last Tuesday. Now, it's ticker symbol WKHS, Workhorse Group Inc. A lot of people lost hope on this one, and we were catching it as it was falling, right? It was around the $15 mark, $16 mark, and I stated, the RSI is still showing room here on the 1 day. It can possibly continue to go lower. It certainly did that, and it hit lows here of 12.30 and some change, and it started to pull back up with some strength, hitting $20 and some change, and it's back down to $17. Now, the $20 jump was because of news on the company and the potential, which was pretty positive for it, and quickly it's been pulling down because investor sentiment is pretty negative, especially after it being up here in the 40s and just falling towards the 30s and then collapsing 50% in just one day. So I understand how many investors are feeling, especially the ones that have been in it way before the run and then also as it was running. But this has potential, especially because the USPS contract is not the only contract that WKHS has. Now, it's fighting there and it's in that area. It could pull down a little bit more. And if it pulls down more, it's even better of an opportunity to watch, because a reversal is bound to happen with this one, especially with everything that I talked about in this video. And I definitely stated it back here, as we could see, on the 23rd. And I was talking about all the things that were going on and how the USPS contract is a big portion of an opportunity, but it's not the only market share that Workhorse was going to be able to obtain. They already have contracts with FedEx. They have contract with UPS. Those are big companies, and also others, right? As the article state, and ARK Invest has been loading up on this dip. Now, they have been shaving a little bit of their position here and there, but they loaded up a tremendous amount. I mean, what they've been shaving off is literally nowhere near 20% or 10% of the vast amount of shares that they bought as this dipped 50%. And they own close to 2 to 3 million shares, if I'm not mistaken. That states a bold statement that they were buying up here, they were buying on the way down, they were buying on the way up, and they bought the dip. So we've been watching this one since the 23rd. It definitely hit a low here of $12 and some change. It was fighting between $14 and $15 for a little bit, because when you go back to the 30-minute, you could see it. And it was just rising as those numbers kept getting hit. So it kept going down to a new low, hitting a newer high, a new low, a new high, and now it's consolidating and it's already building momentum again. Now, is this going to run back up to 30 or up to 40 in no time? Of course not. It's going to take time, investor sentiment, and all these different indicators definitely have a lot more room to go either on the downside or get closer to the upside to then pull back down. So the overall market is playing a big effect here on the overall stocks. So if the market falls, yeah, this could fall a little bit more down. We saw how low it could go, $12. But there's so much room here based off of the fundamentals and potential of this company that Workhorse, yeah, lost one contract, but it didn't lose its complete business. And that's what I was telling every single investor. I'm not here to tell you guys to buy, sell, or hold any positions on WKHS or any ticker symbol I talk about, but I am here to enlighten you guys. And once again, if you guys want to know live updates on what ticker symbols I'm watching, I got 10 plus ticker symbols already that we have on our watch list over at the Patreon. You can click on the link down below and join us over at the Patreon. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.